I'm not talking about being male or female. I am talking about just the energy that you have, kind of that motivates you internally and motivates you to do things externally. It comes from a masculine side and a feminine side. Obviously, if you are a woman, there's a chance that you have naturally a touch more of that feminine energy. And feminine energy is the energy that is inside of you that pushes you to create, and it pushes you to look internally and to build an internal landscape and life that helps you emotionally regulate, that asks you to look inward before outward, inner world, inner creativity, feeling like there's a flow to life that just comes to you, and it can feel like ease, being really connected to your body and noticing that peace or stress in your body. Those are all very feminine things. They're also a feminine way of like showing love is to be really nurturing, to be soft, to let people explore the darker, harder, suffering emotions, kind of that shadow side of things. And when I say shadow, I mean not bad, but things that are harder to look at, like sadness and grief and anger. The masculine energy that we each have, and you can maybe see that men might have a little bit more of this energy naturally, and it's something that some women maybe have to build into a little bit more, but it just comes even through male hormones like testosterone, is that outward forward motion and confidence, that ambition and drive that pushes out and wants to build out. It's the energy that really wants to protect, the energy that really wants to support. So it wants to support the external world. And the best way I heard it described is to think of a ladder, and that ladder is reaching really high up into the sky, and at the top there's an easel and a painter. And the ladder would be like the masculine energy, and then the painter at the top in the sky that's just up high and feeling free is the feminine. And so you can see that the masculine is supporting and elevating so that the feminine can have freedom and stability underneath and a structure, but it's very open at the top. It's not as much limit. And you can see how there would be a natural push to maybe suppress the feminine, again, not female, not woman, but to suppress the feminine because it naturally is so internal. It has less feeling of boundary or a feeling of control. And the masculine inherently, because it wants to protect and support, is going to give more boundary and more control. And we need both. Both are so beautiful, and they're at their best when they're really in balance and trust each other. So the more we do this internally with our own self, the more we can start recognizing this pattern in the world and seeing where it's healthy in our lives, in our communities, in societies, in systems, in churches, in politics, in friendships. And we can also start to notice where it's unhealthy and where something is out of balance. And when I started to tune into this pattern, it also helped me have a lot more compassion. That feminine asks them to look inside, and then sometimes we don't have the support to put what we're finding on the inside out. And that masculine is always kind of trying to control and push down a little bit out of mainly fear because it wants to protect. And so that feminine never has a chance to fully express. And I'm talking in each individual, not in a man over a woman or anything like that, although that does happen. Just being aware that you have each in your body, and that if there's an area where you feel really out of control, like maybe you even have a problem where you're feeling slightly or very much addicted to something, you can see that the feminine inside of you is asking you to look at something. Something is off, something doesn't feel right. You're needing more support. And then the masculine is getting really trampled over by that feminine and is unable to create healthy boundaries and healthy ways to support whatever your feminine is asking you to look at. And often that's because we're scared to look at the feminine. We're scared to look at what inside of us is dying and hurting and grieving And that's just because it's hard and we don't really know how to do it. And it's very individual. And that's why there's really beautiful things like yoga. Yoga is something for me that really helps me tune in and balance my feminine masculine. There's talk therapy, there's getting outside in nature, there's reading, there's connecting to friends. There's also like medical things we can do to help us on a physiological way balance those things inside of us. And if you are feeling really small and weak and afraid and like you cannot really put yourself out there at all, it's probably because your masculine is super on high alert, and your masculine energy is kind of pushing you down to keep you safe and controlled. And really the only way to start to shift this balance is to tune into both sides of you. The part of you that is asking you, oftentimes in pain, to look at something and to sit and to see something that's not probably feeling right in your life, in your body. And then the masculine is asking you to please be safe, to do it in a way that feels balanced and good and with support. So in your life, just notice areas where you're not feeling balanced, and know that balance is always there for you, and you need both. You need the masculine, the support, the protection, and you need that inner freedom to express yourself and sit with yourself. And if you don't have that, really just individually, that feels too overwhelming, lean on a masculine outside of yourself, whether that's nature or some sort of program or some sort of therapy or movement. We feel the most regulated, happy, and safe when we have both of them.